Story time. Story time. Hello, everybody. Hope your Tuesday is going well. Nora, RM. Hi, everyone. Checking all my screens to say hi. Hello, Theta Hira, RM. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit from Creating After Abuse. It's one of my new books that has come out recently, right now in Spanish and English. Contribution to the planet all over the world. And we're in the process of having at least 9 other languages being out in the public forum, such as Hebrew, Italian, Turkish, German, Russian, French, Portuguese. The list goes on and on. Japanese. All right, story time. So randomly, I'm just picking somewhere, and today is about a case study with a man I met. Hi, Christine. With a man I met. Happy Thanksgiving, Canadians. Thanksgiving happens to be my favorite holiday in America because I was born on Thanksgiving. Now, if you're in America, and especially New York, you will get this joke. And it's kind of a joke, but my mother, I was literally born on Thanksgiving. And it was planned, cesarean section. The doctor said, come on in after you have your turkey, and voila, you'll have a baby. And that was me. In New York, there's a turkey company that makes the turkeys called Butterball. So my mom always calls me her Butterball turkey. There you go. I don't know in Canada if you have turkey on Thanksgiving, but it is an American thing. However, in my mother's family, my family, she's Italian. So we would have the lasagna and the meatballs and the salad before the turkey even came out. But that's a whole other story. We'll talk about maybe that when the Body of Change book comes out, which, by the way, I am editing and adding to the manuscript as we speak. Apparently, it's a writing year and a publishing year. All right. I love all the Instagram name handles. Amine Atilakova. Hello, wherever you're from. Janelle, hello. Hiya. Okay, a case study. This is a real life story, different name. Man in Australia, when I was over there, this was like years and years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago. I think actually even before one of my books, Radically Alive Beyond Abuse, Other Side, there, Radically Alive Beyond Abuse came out, and certainly before Lives of Money. Hi, Danya. Hi, Lebeda Veshava. I'm sorry if I don't say your name correctly, but I'm trying. It helps when you sing it a little bit. And this was in what was called back then Radically Alive Beyond Abuse workshop. And then it has since changed to the Living Your Roar workshop, actually Embracing Your Roar workshop. Hello, Nazan, Mehaba. So this is a story about Clive. Now, it starts with a journal exercise, new choices. What's one choice that you can make right now that you've been holding out on making that could move you into lightness and joy? What would this new possibility look like for you? What I found, hello, Loredana. Ciao, Bella, all the way from Italy. Did you hear it? You just missed me talk about my mother's lasagna before Thanksgiving. Iencia, hello. Shining Joy Guru. I love that handle. Criar Conscientia. Hola. Okay. So what would this new possibility of making a new choice look like for you? Sometimes you actually don't know, especially when you're creating after any kind of abuse, physical, financial, spiritual, sexual, divorce. And why am I calling that abuse? Because likely, if it's not working for you somehow, Something could have happened where you abused you or they abused you. There's different gamuts of abuse that we can talk about from, scale of 0 to 10, let's say, 0 being the least amount of what this reality would classify as abuse, 10 being the most egregious forms. Michelle Lasagna. Yeah, hi Janet, hi Yaya. Mehaba, mehaba, mehaba. Lasagna. I was talking about my mama's Italian lasagna, and I'm also talking about choices. When I didn't know starting anything new in my life after a divorce, a new career, a new town. Oh my gosh, when I moved to Dallas, I don't live in Dallas any longer, but I still live in Texas. I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea where I was driving. And navigation is excellent, but you still got to know where you're going. Know your rights, know your left, know the freeways. This is so hard. Now, I'm not calling that an abuse, but it's like the judgments upon yourself could be an abuse. Um, so the book is creating after abuse, and the journal exercise is actually just saying, what would a new possibility look like for you? Merhaba from back from Turkey. Tashikila for being here. Thank you. Um, what would a new choice look like for you? Like literally, there were some times that I would sitting and making a new choice for myself, and I had no idea what would make me happy. I had no idea what I want to choose. I had no idea at some point what I'd like to eat. I had no idea who I'd want to be around, and I had no idea who I was. Weird, huh? And it's such a strange situation. What do I want to do? What do I want to create? And then you get down on yourself, which is the abuse that I'm talking about. So, and if you get divorced and you have a whole new life and lose all your friends because, sometimes they go one way or the other, whatever happens, it could feel like you're separate. And then that could be somehow considered abuse to you, abuse from others. There's so many different ways that this reality classifies abuse. But the first thing I would say is to look at what's a possibility you can make for you today in the change that you were making. And there's journal exercises or just exercises of practical, pragmatic steps that you can do when you're reading this book. And that was the point of it. So you have tools in your pocket. But this is about a man. His name is not Clive, but in the book it's named Clive. Clive attended my Radically Alive Beyond Abuse one-day workshop in Australia. He was in his 60s and had never spoken about his sexual abuse. He had been raped and sodomized by his grandfather for 10 years as a young adolescent, up until his early 20s, and had kept it a secret his whole life. At 60, he met me. He only spoke about it to one other person before he walked into my workshop in Australia. He had never done any kind of therapy. When I facilitated Clive, the entire session lasted around 45 minutes and was in front of the whole class. He had said in the beginning of the day, I'm not exactly sure why I'm here. I'm not sure what I'm going to get from being here, but I knew that I needed to come. I knew as soon as he said that if he allowed me to facilitate him, change would be afoot pretty instantaneously. Hi, Agnes. Believe you're from Poland if I look at the name, but I'm not sure. I apologize if you're not from Poland, but I'm saying hello anyway. It was one of those experiences where we were just firing off each other, questions and answers back and forth like a ping pong match. It was like something in him was saying, please get this out of my body. Let me talk about this. I don't want this anymore. Through questioning, responding, using the tools and techniques, education and training with regards to trauma and abuse that I have, I was able to facilitate Clive to a space of being in himself that was beyond words. You all know this space when you get into a session with someone on your personal development, where the trauma, the grief, the abuse, the shock, the depression, the anxiety for that one instance, that one degree, that one moment, all of a sudden frees you and you feel like you've been set free from a cage that has been invisible to you and you couldn't explain it until you felt it with another person in that session. This is creating after abuse. That's what I'm talking about. Sense that in your body because maybe you're struggling now and don't know it. We just went through, National Mental Health Day yesterday here in America, maybe all over the world. How are you doing in your own mental health? Do you sense that you're locked in a cage, or are you living that radical aliveness, greeting the free and clear and greeting the day with the spring in your step? I know it's been harder some days than most. Well, maybe not than most, but some days over the last couple of months has been a little tougher for me to get that then positivity that I usually pulsate at. But doing some of these exercises and a lot of other things that create possibility for me always makes that change, hands down. You just got to make that choice. Hello, Mihaila from Romania. Gina, hello. Thank you, Loredana. Loredana is one of the transliterators for in Italian. So that's in process as well. And she said, this book changed my inner world. I'm so glad. Ozoglu, how are you? Okay. By the end of the session, he looked like a beautiful, innocent young boy who had just dropped eons and lifetimes of pain, trauma, heaviness, and weight from those 10 years where he had been raped and sodomized. He was 10 years old, raped and sodomized. He was 60 when he came to me. And for 50 years, he only told one other person. And in that moment, hi, Lori, in that moment, in 45 minutes, it's a collaboration. We resolved the PTSD to the post traumatic growth possibility. And I watched him as this 60-year-old man, which had certain amount of, you know, natural aging. He was quite beautiful. And what I saw, I'll never forget his blue eyes and the smile on his face in front of me. I can see it right now as I'm rereading this. And he looked like that 10-year-old boy. And what I mean by that is that childlike innocence deep within us that is imaginative, creative, constructive, generative, an actualizer, a manifester that never stops. And I myself, after years and years and years of struggle, and sometimes decades with my own traumas and abuses, and even though some days and months and years I got lateral changes, there was a certain point where I catapulted beyond the trauma. And, each person's trauma journey to the growth possibility is different. So there's no judgment here. But I said to myself, there was a certain brightness in my face as a child, a light in my eyes, that when I see that as the adult that I am, and I never knew when it was going to come, and I made this proclamation in my 20s, when I see it as the adult that I am, I will know that I moved from my post traumatic stress disorder to my post traumatic growth possibility, from the PTSD to the PTGP. And when I did that and saw that in my eyes and in my face and in my writings and in my work, I knew it. And I also saw it in him that day so many years ago that he got it. When I reflect on that session, I remember the beauty of it and not the pain of it. In less than 45 minutes, something that somebody had carried in their body for decades had been released. It doesn't take a lifetime, and it doesn't have to take a lifetime. It can take a lifetime. It can take decades. It can take what it takes as long as you choose every day 1 degree shift to keep bettering yourself beyond what was the past to the now. Everything is a possibility, even such horrors as trauma. There's a message in the mess. When we are open to letting go with the right tools and the right facilitation, we can shift tremendously in a short space of time. And I'm not saying like what is the right facilitation and the right tools. I don't mean there's one over the other. Absolutely not. It's whatever calls you. That's what I mean. Right timing, divine timing, the right person, place, situation, and events. I have done myself personally a myriad of personal growth, personal development, self help, tools, techniques, education, and training. Every single one of them led me to where I am today. Not one over the other, not one less than the other. It's what brings heart and meaning to you when your body goes, that, do it. And if you get a that on this, do it. And if you don't get a that on this, maybe somebody else would and share it. Or maybe it will put you to search for something else that will give you that and you'll go for it. However it works for you, I implore you to discover what works for you and no longer have to carry the past in your body. You can get free from it. Hi, Lori. Hi, anybody else that has joined. All right. When we are open to letting go, I already read that. Hopelessness, on the other hand, locks you in the cage of abuse, the invisible cage of abuse. Hello, Alejandro. Hola. Buenos tardes. ¿Cómo está? The book is in Spanish. It's over there. It's behind that as well. Clive had showed up in a class, not knowing anything about the class, not knowing anything about me, but knowing that he was called to be there and he wanted to move beyond his abuse and gave himself the gift in the process, and me as well, and you now as well. Mehaba Bengu. Bonjour, Lucy. Clive had showed up not knowing what he was going to get, but he got it anyway. He told me that he now experiences freedom and space beyond everything he ever imagined. He forgave himself, he forgave his grandfather, and he let himself live free as a childlike innocence deep within him, never believing what was never his to be in the first place. It's such a words can't express those moments that I remember in the privilege that I have of traveling the world and meeting all of you, whether it be online or live. And even if I never see Clive again, maybe he's watching this because I haven't seen him again. He probably doesn't even know it's in this book, and he probably doesn't even know it's him I'm talking about. But I have a sense if he listens, he will know. But I remember him, and I remember that moment. And that moment is something for each of us. No matter what you do, you've all had that moment. And if you're not necessarily feeling that moment right now, there's a lot going on in the world, right? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things and people saying we got to do certain things that, you know, it doesn't matter what you choose to do. I don't know about you, but I don't like being told what to do and what not to do. I like to choose. That's what we are doing on this planet, free will. While I can understand all the different positions, it's still our choice about everything. Our choice. If something brightens our world and will expand it, go for it and do it, especially in your healing. Trust yourself, not necessarily the people that are facilitating you. It's great to have a collaborative relationship, but if you know in your heart, in your soul, in your body that this is something for you to check out, to move forward on, whatever it is, go for it because there's no greater expansiveness and personal development change in that moment when the energy of you choosing matches the energy of you going for what you want. And then that post traumatic growth possibility or the post possibility becomes your reality and it'll move you forward. Thank you for that, Lori. She said, I love your work and I'm so grateful to have gone to Roar. It changed my life. Thank you. And thank you for that. It changed my life too. And it's been such a privilege to write about it in all these books, Radically Alive Beyond Abuse, Creating After Abuse. I have another manuscript that I'm working on called The Body of Change. All these things are tools designed for you and for me. And they're from my concrete experiences about what I did to choose for me, in my healing and how I did that with everyone and everything, but from the source within me. Every single person. Oh, I know I need to go there. I know I need to go there. I know I need to take that class. I know I need to read that book. I know I need to take that course, even though I would never take that course. I just knew I have this thing inside of me, and I think you do too. You know when it's time to change. You know when it's time to let go. And you know that you could wait until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired to make that change, or you can just receive the change as soon as you get the inkling to change and go for it. Push the button. You'll never know the amazing uh, possibility that awaits you in the journey of it and on the other side of it. You might just get everything you're looking for and more without even knowing what you're looking for and more. It's the energy of what's true for you. And you got to get beyond your own cage of limitations and constrictions to not choose. All of you know that space that I talked about in Clive. You've had that feeling from personal growth, a class, a session, a physical activity, a success in business, a graduation celebration, a book, an audio recording, a song, whatever it is, a drawing, a painting, those things that bring you joy. You can still have them no matter what's going on in your life. Keep yourself first and foremost in your life. Choose for you. Get quiet with yourself and find what works for you. Uh, expect it to be different because you're unique, and every one of us has our intrinsic soul print, the character and contour of our fingerprint, not like anybody else. That's the unique character of your soul print. And to impress that on the lips of this reality and create your life and living is what you're here to be and do. We all have it. Not some, not a little, all of us. And you deserve it for you. If nobody has told you that they love you today, they're pulling for you, they're wishing you well, they're giving you a sense of air, a sanitized hug, a wish for a greater future planet, whatever it is that you want, kindness, nurturance, peace, joy, clarity, truth. It's all here for you. Trust yourself. If you're wanting to know more about anything with Roar or myself, I have my monthly call tomorrow. Break free, spread your wings. I'll keep doing these author readings, and a couple days a week, I'm going live talking about some random and important topics, uh, mainstream topics that are going on in the world right now. All right, my friends, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. I hope this was a contribution to you. Thanks for all your kind words. I love hearing about what the books have done for you, all of them. And what's really funny is those of you that are just meeting me, I used to stand up in front of the room in college and cry. And I think it's so hysterical that I have done 27 years now of working in the mental health, psychology, consciousness, energy healing field, speaking on social media, speaking in classes and groups online and live, and writing books. And if I can do it, you can do it. Anything is possible. Trust yourself. Bye for now. And thank you.